Good morning, KTBS Facebook. You have any idea where I am this morning? Live. A little bit after 7. You can see that it's beginning to become sunrise. Dawn is beginning to break over the Kiamichi Mountains, southeast Oklahoma. I must be at that place that I've talked about a lot, Beavers Bend State Park. And yes, I am. And I'm just going to give you an idea of a place you might want to visit. This place is always beautiful and wonderful and fun to visit, and there's lots to see and do, but especially in the fall, there's nothing like it. Now, what I'm going to show you here is an example of what has happened here in Beavers Bend and Hochatown over the last 10, 15 years, but particularly in the last couple of years. There has been an explosion of prosperity. Cabins like this is absolutely gorgeous, brand new, just opened up, are popping up all over the place. It's incredible. Lots of folks, including from our area, but a lot of folks from Dallas-Fort Worth are building these big, beautiful cabins. And they're doing it because they love the area. It's like a little Colorado, but it's only 2.5 hours away from your home. And they rent them out when they're not there. They rent them out to vacationers, and they pay either fully or partially your mortgage. That's the idea. Evie Shaw realizes that. Evie is from Minden, Louisiana, and she built this cabin. And Evie, little Evie, even grown-up Evie, could not have imagined that someday you would own something like this.
Could have never imagined, not in my wildest dreams.
You've been told by a local realtor who knows what she's doing, that this cabin, that little Evie Shaw from Minden, Louisiana built, could get as much as $1 million today.
Today, yeah.
That gives you an idea of what's going on here. But what's great about this cabin, folks, and we're going to walk through it and show you it as we talk, there's a story behind it. There's a backstory. You know, I love telling stories. Well, this one has a backstory, and it's right there. Happily even after. Now, normally that's happily ever after.
Right.
The fairy tale dream that every life is going to be wonderful.
Right.
Turns out, if you live long enough, it isn't.
Right.
So you named this cabin.
I did.
Happily even after.
Right.
Why?
Right. So several years ago, I had a marriage of 26 years that I had to get a divorce, and I never wanted that divorce. And then shortly after that, my third son got cancer, and in 2018, he passed away. And so I was a big mess, puddle on the floor, crying, and I didn't know if life could go on. You know, how can things be okay again? And so to honor my third son, because of the amazing life he lived, I pulled myself up and I started living again. And I realized through all that I could live happily even after my life had fallen apart. And so now I do have a coaching business, and I'm on social media as Happily Even After, because I do teach people and show people and encourage people to know that their life can live happily even after their life falls apart.
Even after the devastation of divorce and the loss of a son, which I can't even imagine, you can rise again. The sun does rise, even after a dark, cold night. Speaking of that, I tell you what, let's let you see. Go ahead, Evie, if you'll turn the lights on in the bathroom and the bedroom. We had turned those out, but I just want to give you an idea. By the way, this cabin, which I love the name and I love the story behind it, is absolutely gorgeous, folks. It just opened up. It's brand new. And they're building a lot of cabins like this all over the place. But Evie's one of us, okay? She's a local girl, born and raised in Minden, Louisiana, and has lived most of her life and still lives a good part of her life there. Look at that. Look at this. By the way, it was her fella, she calls him, her guy, who built this. What's his name?
Ron Baker.
Ron Baker. He builds these incredible, look at the shower. I mean, check it out, folks. Imagine enjoying this kind of luxury as you walk out the door into one of the most beautiful places on the planet, and that's Beaver's Bend, which it is, folks. Mountain Fork River, you kayak, you canoe down that beautiful river. If you're a fisherman, you can fish for rainbow or brown trout. I mean, it's just like amazing and just scenically beautiful. If you're a photographer, lots of things to see and do here, photography-wise. But this is where you can spend the night. How about that? By the way, you can sleep as many as how many, Evie?
Well, we say 6. So we have a king bed, a queen bed, a full up in a loft, and a pull-out sofa.
Okay. That'd be a tight squeeze, but it's possible.
It's possible.
And by the way, I spent the night in the bedroom upstairs. Very nice. And there's a little loft bed for the little ones. And everywhere I go, I see these signs. They're all happily even after. They're signs of encouragement. And that's what you do. Collect beautiful moments. And that's really what these places are about. If you want to make memories with your family, folks, you got to take them away, go someplace special, spend some really special, unique time with them. Before we go outside and show them the hot tub, I want them to see what it's like drinking coffee, even on a cold morning, right here. Look at this. Watch this. I'm going to have Evie turn the lights out. And look at that. How about that, folks? A little fireplace. That's a fireplace. And then right over here, your cup of coffee. And you can watch the sunrise every morning. Is that beautiful? Now, if you don't want to stay inside, if it's a nice morning like it is this morning, you just walk out here to the outdoor kitchen. Evie, why don't you turn the lights on out here?
Alrighty.
The outdoor kitchen, which, oh, check it out. Super. That's a big hot tub. Wow. By the way, you can watch the LSU Tigers or Arkansas Razorbacks or even those Boomer Sooners from OU right there as you're either soaking in the hot tub or drinking your coffee. Oh, this is too much. Oh, my Lord. Evie, I'm about to make an offer
All right.
on your cabin. I'm telling you, look at this thing. This is fantastic. It's just beautiful. And what I love about your story is you grew up very simple.
Very.
Never made a bunch of money.
No.
You didn't grow up rich by any means, and you're not rich now. She's not. Trust me. She works at the local
pizza
place here in town. All right, but she's dreaming.
I'm dreaming.
And she's beginning to live out her dreams. And they're becoming reality. I mean, just having this, I'd be mighty proud if this were mine. I'll tell you, Evie, this is just gorgeous. I love the windows.
So thankful.
I love what your fella has done. He's a really talented builder.
Amazing.
Very creative. The design work is really awesome.
Thank you.
And the idea is, oh, wow. I'm telling you, folks.
Wow.
I mean, that is too much. But the idea is you bring yourself, someone you know and love, your kids, your family, multiple families, and you stay in these cabins. You make memories that will last a lifetime, and you help Evie pay for her mortgage.
Right, exactly.
That's the concept, and that's why so many people have come here, especially in the last, say, 5 years, buying cabins like crazy. There's a frenzy, an explosion. They call it an explosion of prosperity.
Right.
People
Since
are coming.
2020, it really just, wow, exploded.
I mean,
It's
you
the
bought
only way to say
land.
it.
Yeah, you believe you bought some land a couple of years ago,
In 2020.
and now you've doubled the price on the land, and you believe you could probably, if you negotiated, might be able to get as much as double in a couple of years on a plot of land
Right.
here.
Exactly.
That's the value, and the reason is, folks, is that, you know what? God's not making any more of that. Beautiful sunrises and these mountains and the Mountain Fork River and the Broken Bow Lake. These are unique places, and they're right close to home. It's about 3 hours from Dallas-Fort Worth. That's the attraction for them. It's about 3 hours from Tulsa, Oklahoma City, that part of Oklahoma. That's the attraction for them. And for us, about 3 hours, 2 hours, 45 minutes, something like that, and you can be here. I mean, you can't beat it. And the great thing about this, she's local. Born and raised right in Minden, Louisiana, little Evie Shaw, and look what she's done. But you know what I love about Evie? Evie is grateful for what has happened to her in her life. She doesn't take it for granted. There's a lot of appreciation. She realizes this is a dream come true. And she wants to share it with folks. I know that. She shared it with me. I had the chance to spend the night here last night. We were live here on KTBS First News. And it's comfortable, folks. Look at that. Lord Almighty, that is gorgeous. So let's tell the folks who might want to stay, spend the night, spend the weekend, spend a week. How do they do it?
All right, so we have our own website. It's happilyevenaftercabin.com. We're also on Facebook, Happily Even After. We're on Instagram, Happily Even After Cabin. It's Happily Even After Cabin on Facebook and Instagram and on TikTok. And I have a YouTube, which is Evie Shaw, but it has my cabin information on there too.
All right. In addition to that, though, and this matters to you, you want people to know there's a reason that you named this cabin what you named it.
Right.
There is life after
life
pain.
After pain, yeah. A lot of people who lose children, they think they can't go on because it hurts that bad. You don't think you can. Yeah. But I want to encourage those people to know there is life after, and it can be good and happy. And one of the things that I say about Colson is that better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all, because I learned so much from him, and my life is so much richer and fuller. And I love more because I knew that love for him. And then another thing I always say is how blessed I am to have loved someone so much that made saying goodbye so hard. So yeah, where there's great, loss, there's great love.
Yes.
And so, but I want to encourage people, and also people who have to get a divorce after a decade or 2 or 3, because it does seem like that's the end. It's only the end of one thing and the beginning of something really, really amazing, if you choose to see it that way.
Amen. So, it is a choice.
Yeah.
You can choose to be bitter, or you can choose to be better.
That's right.
And Evie Shaw chose to be better. And this is the result, folks. Look at this.
That's right.
And by the way, this can be yours. I'm about to make a bid. I wish.
To the highest bidder.
But you can definitely spend the night here or the weekend here or the whole week. And this is a great time to see Beavers Bend, folks. The leaves are beginning to turn. The weather's nice and cool. There's no place like it. Remember the name, Beavers Bend State Park. And remember the title, the name of the cabin, Happily Even After.